Welcome back to the Arsenal Insider YouTube channel. I'm once again joined by Rosie Tupple from Arsenal Insider. I am Alfie Rosie, and we've got a win to talk about. The Gunners pulled through with 3 points away at Old Trafford, not something we do regularly. How are you doing, Rosie? How are you doing after yesterday's success?
Better that we're going to be talking about a win today, although, to be honest, I don't know how we're talking about a win, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was very nervy at the end, I'd say. I think they got a corner 90+4, and I was just fuming. And then he went up the other end. Saka tried to square it with Madueke at the end there. And I was like, just go to the corner. But we got the 3 points. I believe it's our fourth win at Old Trafford in the last 20 years. 3 of which have come in the last 6 visits. So we are picking up there, even if the performances still look like they're playing the badge rather than the team, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we will be breaking down the 1-0 victory today, Arteta's tactics, the set pieces, and going into the goal from Calafiori, some of the individual performances. Obviously, Liverpool and City also winning this weekend, so it was crucial that we did not get cut apart already. 3 points adrift, as we're still up there. 3 points, and yeah, should we just get straight into the main moment of the game, the Calafiori winner? You want to sort of lead the breakdown on that goal, though?
Strangely enough, I think if there was any defender I thought was going to score, it would be Calafiori as soon as I saw him in the starting lineup. Obviously, we've got Gabriel's goal threat as well, but Calafiori just seems to pop up in those positions where, he's not really meant to be there, but he's there, so we'll take it. There's a lot of discourse about the goal. Did Saliba foul the keeper? Was the keeper strong enough? Was it just a good corner routine from Arsenal? I'd probably say the latter. Their goalkeeper should have been a bit stronger. I think every opposition in the Premier League's really clued up now about, what we're like on corners, how physical we are, and that we've just got those, we've got the people that are going to come and put a shift in and move people if they need to be moved. So fortunately, United's keeper was a victim of that, and Calafiori was there to poke it home. And, I feel like it kind of had to be him. He's just randomly come back into the starting 11. And yeah, there he was.
Yeah, I've seen Bruno Fernandes complaining after that, it was a foul on Bayindir, but I think it's just really weak goalkeeping, to be honest. And I think we clearly identified that. This is not a goalkeeper who's good at sort of commanding a box and playing crosses and being assertive from set piece situations. And we exploited it. He was very weak. It's minimal contact from Saliba. And then United tried to do the same thing with Raya in the second half with De Ligt. Raya showed what an actual good goalkeeper does and commanded his box, parried it away. Another goal from a set piece. Obviously a massive weapon for us last season. I believe we scored more set piece goals than anyone else in the Premier League since the beginning of 23-24. Sort of becoming not a meme, but a bit of a narrative about us that we are, this set piece juggernaut team that can't really score from open play. And to be fair, that we're not beating the allegations with this performance. We didn't do much else in open play. We relied on that moment. As you said there, Calafiori, he has got this knack for just popping up and scoring random goals. The unpredictability he brings, I think, was really on show in this game. A couple of good moments for him as well, generally. But it was a tricky performance overall, and I wanted to ask you about the sort of Old Trafford tax and the aura around Old Trafford, because United aren't a good team. They have been significantly worse than us from the last few years. And every time we go there, we seem to play within ourselves. The atmosphere gets to us a bit. And genuinely, it felt like we couldn't string like three or four passes together, particularly in the first half. I mean, I don't know, it was all over the place. What do you make of that sort of soft factor side of it, the going to Old Trafford, and you always end up having to sort of play under the cosh and defend towards our own goal, particularly late in games there?
It was, as you say, it's expected. It's sort of a trait of Arsenal now. We go away to these tricky stadiums today, Anfield. We still haven't broken that curse. Old Trafford, I mean, I I was expecting us to win. I would have been happy with a draw because it was Old Trafford. It's not, you don't just take into account, oh, it's Man United and it's Ruben Amorim's, very much in transition. Man United, it's Man United at Old Trafford. So as you say, it comes with attacks. The performance wasn't good, but we played better than I thought we would have done. Over the past decade or so, you would have expected the way the game was going. Sorry, you would have kind of expected us to drop points. It might have been at the end. We might have lost. The momentum switches in Old Trafford, and the atmosphere builds, and we seem to crumble. But under Arteta, I think that's why we've gone so long being unbeaten against the big six, because we just don't crumble. They've just got the mentality's changed. We're sort of mentality monsters now. It wasn't a pretty result, but we got 3 points, and somehow, the game finished. And I'm thinking, we've actually just won that. We've actually just got 3 points on the opening day at Old Trafford. And, why do I feel a bit gutted about it? It was that sort of game, I think.
Yeah, and I think Arteta said after the game as well that the players were disappointed with themselves, which is very interesting, the feeling. We would not have been saying that 5-6 years ago when winning at Old Trafford, with the players are disappointed, but the standards and expectations have risen. And as you said there, we don't crumble in these big games. We don't crumble under the pressure. We've got players, individuals who are so good under the cosh, backs against the wall. David Raya made a couple of very good saves in this game. He was, excellent in the second half. I thought, claiming crosses, relieving pressure. Gabriel and Saliba as well. Both started shakily, I think, particularly Saliba, but grew into the game. In the second half were both excellent. What did you make of those three performances in particular, and some of those individual moments that they produced, particularly in the second half?
I think for all of them, it was very much a game of sort of, well, not even 2 halves, like 4 quarters. I mean, we started so shakily. Saliba, I don't know what he was doing half the time. He's so relaxed, really chilled out in, the way he carries himself. But also, there were sometimes he was just letting the ball bounce. And, as a kid, you're taught, like, go to the ball, don't let it bounce. And you're kind of just like, mate, what are you doing? Like, sort it out. But Gabriel, I think it might have impacted him a little bit, because at first I was a bit worried that he was still a bit jaded from getting over. He only had surgery in April, didn't he? So, but he grew into the game massively. I think Raya made that save. Was it Cunha's shot? And it was just, I think from there we kind of realised, we got the quality, but they're not going to stop knocking at the door. And I think everyone sort of switched on. So yeah, definitely just needed a bit of a wake-up call. And I think them having so many chances and cutting through us quite easily. I mean, Zubimendi didn't really help the back four, I don't think. Not by no fault of his own, but there was such a big gap where Declan Rice kept venturing upfield. He can't do it all on his own, not on his Premier League debut at Old Trafford. So I thought we all got, they all got us out of a really difficult situation, backs to the wall. And you can't really have any complaints when at 90 minutes we've kept a clean sheet and got 3 points on the opening day.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Raya save you mentioned there, and Cunha was insane. And Gary Neville loved it in commentary, but the way he got down there, very low, insane save. We've seen, he started last season with some spectacular saves, so hopefully that continues. And yeah, I thought we struggled a little bit with Cunha and Mbeumo's positioning. Obviously not particularly used to playing back three teams, and it allowed them to be very narrow in those sort of inside forward roles. And yeah, I think at times you saw Calafiori and Gabriel sort of struggling to deal with where Mbeumo was going to pick up positions, coming in between them, sort of, and it was similar to Cunha on the other side with White and Saliba. And yeah, like United did dominate possession. I never felt like they were particularly threatening. We had some half chances here and there, but it was kind of weird. I just felt like we didn't press like we normally do. I don't know if, the new, Gyokeres and Zubimendi aren't sort of quite accustomed to our pressing system and structure yet. And I did think that was a bit of an issue on the whole day. But in terms of sort of bigger takeaways, I think this is the classic. It wasn't champagne football, but it's the sort of performances and sort of wins that Premier League champions do grind out throughout a season. You're going to have games where you don't play well and you just have to sort of scrape through with, a set piece goal, particularly away at tough grounds in intimidating atmospheres. We did that in this game. So I think there's some good stuff to take from that aspect of the game. Anything on that sort of mentality and maturity, and maybe any individual performances you wanted to highlight, whether good or bad?
Yeah, just mentality was sort of the whole narrative of the game, I think. I think the problem was we went to Old Trafford on the opening day and it was very much an opening day performance. And personally, I don't mind if I wouldn't say we scrapped a win sort of thing, but I don't mind the mentality sort of driving us through rather than, quality football, because we have got a really tough start to the season. And points are going to mean more than, we look really good. I mean, look what Amarin came out and said after the game, that they could beat any team in the league, but lost on the opening day. So I'd rather we were getting 3 points and not playing, beautiful football. But you also do want it to change at some point. But with the start we've got, fair enough, let's let sort of our strong-mindedness take over, and I'll take a few set piece goals. Individual performance, I think controversial. I really did like what I saw from Gyokeres. I think I felt really bad for him, and the way he's getting slammed is crazy, but you have to expect it, I guess. I thought his movement was brilliant. He's so strong. He did trip over the ball at one point, but I mean, he's not a waste of money because he tripped over the ball. But no, got himself into good positions. I think once we learn how to play to him and, play to his strengths, we'll be laughing. But I liked what he saw. He didn't shy away. He really tried to stand out, and he just did struggle because there was no service. But I was impressed by what I saw.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a great debut, but I do agree that the slander's got a bit far. And you kind of expected it because of all the narratives with him and Sesko and stuff. But yeah, I think the stepping the ball thing was kind of just nerves. I could see he didn't shy away, but he was a little bit nervous in moments. The United crowd was getting onto him. There was ironic cheers when he was sucked on the hour mark. But I do think, like we saw, I think in the lead up to that chance where he stepped on the ball, that was one moment where Odegaard did feed him early. And that's the sort of thing that he needs frequently throughout a match. You've got to play that ball 5-6 times a game, not just once. And I do think we'll hopefully, settle with him, and the players will sort of know the automatisms with him, like the way he likes to move in behind early, and Odegaard would start finding him more frequently. Yeah, I thought there were some encouraging signs, even if what he actually did himself wasn't that great on the day. Martinelli, not great. Like the one thing you can always count on him to do is the defensive work, and he did that well, but everything on the ball was pretty poor. That attempted bicycle kick first half wound me up. It's just like, why don't you just make normal contact with that ball? We tried the spectacular. I don't think Rice was very good. If I'm honest, I thought he was one of our worst players on the pitch. Was pretty non-existent. I think Odegaard was getting some criticism for his final ball, but I think he was getting into positions to do stuff, whereas Rice was just nowhere to be seen for most of the game. I think he completed like 13, 14 passes or something, which is really unlike him for a centre mid. Anyway, we got the win. We'll take it. And let us know what you thought of the game down below. Who impressed you? Raya, Gabriel, Calafiori, let us know. Playing Leeds next week. Hopefully, we will continue with more 3 points and, make sure we have maximum points headed to Anfield the following week. I guess we did a prediction last week, the United game. I said 4-0. It's quite embarrassing now, but Leeds prediction, Rosie?
Oh, you got to go for a win. I might nick your 4-0 and just run with that. They'll probably win really well tonight, and then I'll regret that. But there we go.
Oh yeah, Everton today, isn't it? Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to say 5-0. I'm just going to keep backing us week in, week out, because going to win the quadruple. Subscribe to the Arsenal Insider YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you next week.